Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bauer Lite. It's a fully plastic keyboard aiming to deliver an enthusiast-grade experience at an entry-level budget. Priced at just $120, this keyboard offers an incredible value for your money. In this review, we'll check out how to build it and I'll discuss its key features so you can find out if this keyboard might be a good purchase for you. But first, remember to subscribe to help my channel grow and consider becoming a channel member to help support me directly. Thank you, and let's go right ahead to the keyboard unboxing. The Bauer Lite is available in 5 colors: Atomic, Ghost, Grim, Rogue, and Seafoam. I went with Ghost based on the appealing promotional photos on their website. The exterior box nicely showcases a board with a design aligned with Omnitype's branding. I imagine the boxes vary in color depending on your chosen variant. Opening it, we're immediately met with the keyboard. It's upside down, which is a bit of an interesting choice. The plate is also made of plastic, which has both flexibility and deep acoustics. Pour-on isolation strips and bumpers are used to mount the plate without the need for any screws. Optional plate foam is also included. The white PCB adds a distinctive touch. I'm not sure if the PCB comes in different colors for the different boards, but regardless, this has a super clean design and should match well with all the different options. You will also find an owner's manual in the box, which is crucial because it has the build guide in it. The build process for this board is unique, so I'm going to go through it step by step. For this build, I ordered everything directly from Omnitype's website, and I'll leave links in the description. First is installing the stabilizers. If you're planning on doing any stabilizer mods, now is the time to do so. I'm lubing them with Crytox and dielectric grease, as well as a band-aid mod using electrical tape. Do note that this board is only compatible with 7U spacebars, and the stabilizer kit I ordered didn't include one, so I had to get a 7U wire from my spare parts. Next is installing the PCB standoffs and the plate. There is also the optional step of applying the case foam, which I decided not to do for this build. The socket head screws and PCB standoffs attach to either side of the PCB, and the countersunk screws attach to the plate. Tighten from both sides, but don't overdo it. You don't want to risk cracking the plastic. Installing the switches is the same as any other keyboard. The only special instruction is to break the center switch divider on the backspace. This converts the layout from having a split backspace to a regular full size. These are the C-glass linear switches. At the time of my purchase, this was the only switch that Omnitype had in stock and was selling. And because the PCB is hot swap, there is no need to solder anything. Now onto the unique steps of this board. Install the donut bumpers on the top housing. The bumpers are keyed, so you're going to want to make sure to align the notches with the cutouts or they won't sit evenly. This wasn't mentioned in the instructions, so you have to remember to do it carefully. Using tweezers is helpful because the parts are so small. Next, we install the isolation strips to the bottom housing. The locations of the different strips are marked, and they give you a few extra just in case you mess it up the first time. Screw in the daughter board to the bottom case. Again, be careful not to over tighten it. Finger tight should be all you need. Moving back to the plate, install the taco bumpers to the corners. These make sure the plate isn't making contact with the sides of the case, ensuring it is truly isolated. Installing the plate assembly is tricky. Keep the top and bottom case close together and install the plate upside down on the top. Make sure the plug is oriented correctly when connecting the PCB and daughter board. Then flip the bottom case over to close it. I did it wrong and flipped the top case over the bottom, but it worked out in the end. The front of the board has 2 clips, so make sure they're secured before moving on. Now apply the included rubber feet and finish securing the case together with 4 screws. The finishing touch is applying your keycaps. The set I went with is GMK DualShot 2 because I wanted to make an exact copy of the board on Omnitype's website. Typically I try to avoid GMK keycaps, but because these are sold as in stock, it's easier to make an exception. This is the Katana base kit with the optional accent keys. And with that, our build is complete. Quick note, I'll be hosting a live stream on January 26th at 7 PM PST, where I'll be submitting my votes for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards with my friends. If you like anime or just want to hang out with me live, be sure to tune in on YouTube or Twitch. This is going to be our 2nd year doing it, and we hope to see you there. Let's get back to the review. The price tag alone already makes this board a compelling budget option. I found that the build experience and design are both high quality. This makes sense because the Bauer Lite is just a cheaper version of the original Bauer, which had already received praise in the past. Because the case is fully plastic, it sounds great without having to try too hard, and the semi-frosted transparent look helps the board to stand out. It has a retro nostalgic vibe, and being able to turn it over and have a full view of the PCB is something special for sure. The atomic purple version is reminiscent of the Game Boy Color, which I'm sure many people will use to make theme builds. The main downside I see with this board is the win keyless layout, but that's up to personal preference. Win keyless just means that there are no Windows keys and they are instead replaced with blockers. Because I use the Windows key a lot to open and close windows and perform the screenshot shortcut, this keyboard isn't one that I would be comfortable using long term. As a workaround, I changed the right Alt key to a Win key using VIA. I was surprised that the isolation mount doesn't provide that much flex to the board. The typing isn't stiff by any means, but I would have thought a screwless mount would give me a little more movement. It's still a pleasure to type on regardless, and there are still definite acoustic benefits that shine through. As my final recommendation, you should only purchase the Bauer Lite if you like the look of the transparent plastic and the win keyless layout. If you don't, there are similarly priced options for you that will better fit your needs. This keyboard is more of an outlier and less of a crowd pleaser because of those design choices. If you're part of the more mainstream audience, then carefully consider if you can live with the win keyless layout. If you're an avid keyboard enthusiast and are looking to add to your collection, this board is great value for your money and should be taken into consideration. Before we listen to the sound test, remember to subscribe if you enjoyed the video and join me for my live stream on January 26th at 7 PM PST, streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.